A moment ago we were taking a look at editing and setting up the modparams.dat file on our system. So let me scroll back and catch you up on what happened there. So I edited the modparams.dat file and I reran AutoGen using these commands here. At the end then, modparams finished successfully, and as instructed here by the message from the AutoGen utility, I took a look at the report that was generated using the type command. So here's the report that was generated. What I'm looking for is to see that the changes I asked for occurred, and I'm also looking for any warning or error messages. So we know that we asked for modparams to be 20,480. That happened. Virtual page count, we asked for it to be 70,000. That happened. The page file quota limit, process quota limit, default page file quota, we asked for it to be 35,000. That happened. We asked for global pages to be set to something. That happened. Global sections got larger. That's something we were concerned about. Logical name system hash table, we asked for it to be 512. Also logical name process hash table, we asked for it to be 512, so that happened. So far so good. We also asked for the default mailbox buffer quota. This sets up a buffer that can be used for launching programs quickly. We asked for that to be set to 5120, and that happened. So far so good. No warning or error messages in this. So it looks like we're ready to continue. Next thing I did is executed VMS's shutdown procedure to reboot VMS, and you can do that by typing this command here, @sys$system shutdown. You'll be prompted for some answers. Since I was logged in over the network, it wants me to confirm that I really want to reboot the computer. If there's a problem, the computer may not come up all the way and may not talk to the network. So I'm confident here. I say yes. Minutes to shutdown, so you can delay the shutdown, and that'll cause messages to be broadcast to the user every minute telling them the system's going to go down. In this case, I want to go down immediately. Reason for shutdown, you can put in a comment here that'll be broadcast to the network. Spin down disk volumes. For many of the smaller machines that PINet runs on, this command really doesn't do anything, but on the bigger systems, this spins down the disks, powers them down, and parks the heads. That may be important, especially if you're going to move the computer or turn the power off. Site-specific shutdown procedure. You can skip that or run that, your choice. I always let it run. Should I automatically reboot? In this case, I want to say yes. In some cases, you want the system to go down and stay down. But in this case, I want an automatic reboot. And then you get an option of tests to be made before the system starts back up. So I usually invoke the reboot check and the save feedback check. You can abbreviate these and provide them as a comma-separated list, thus. And then the system starts down. Here's an example of the message that gets broadcast to people on the network to indicate the system's going down. So if other people were logged into this machine, they would have seen that message. Site-specific shutdown procedure gets run, processes get stopped, and so on. And eventually what happens then is, usually within a minute or two, or maybe a little longer, after this message comes out, the machine is really and truly shut down. But at this point here, when this message comes out, the machine stops talking to the operator console and stops talking to the network. Eventually, I got this message here telling me my telnet connection was terminated, and I waited a few minutes and hit the return key to open a new session. Depending on your terminal or terminal emulation software, you may need to do something beyond just hitting the return key to reopen your session. When I got the username prompt, I logged in with my password, and I got welcome to VMS. And at this point, I'm ready to try to resume the installation of PINet. I'll do that by doing @sys$update VMS install. And to show you a different way to do this, I'm going to install PINet this time from save sets that I copied to the disk of my computer. So in this case, I've created a disk on a directory on my computer with a shortcut called PITape, and that's where the kits have been installed, or not installed, but copied. So in this case, I can install it from my hard disk rather than from the CD. Is it worth copying the kits from the CD to your hard disk? Maybe yes, maybe no. If you don't have a CD reader in your computer, definitely yes. If you have more than one of these things to do, definitely yes. If you're just doing one of them, the time it takes to copy the files over and reblock them, maybe not worth it. Except for the location of the kits, the installation starts up just like before, and we should see the same kind of messages on the screen. Am I happy with my backup? Yes. Oops, it didn't find any of the products. Alright. PITape. There they be. I'm installing PINet 2.4. Much more better. Hopefully we'll hang in here until we get to answer all the questions we need to answer. Make for a long part of this lesson, but then we'll continue on to the next step. Seeing some of the same messages we saw before, and we're confirming that yes, this is a new installation of PINet. We're still hoping for success. Looks like the default page file quota isn't big enough yet. This sometimes happens. You change this or you change that, causes some interactions, and that may mean that the system needs more resources when you get done. So we're going to have to run AutoGen again. So I'm going to say yes to this question here, and we'll repeat the steps we've already gone through once or twice before, so I'm going to skip those. And when we come back, we're going to try the installation of PINet one more time.